We are now in step 11. We are going to configure the STP, spanning tree protocol. Likewise, the HSRP, we are going to make the distribution switch 1 primary for 10, 20, 50, and distribution switch 2 will be primary for VLAN 30 and 40. If you remember, here, step 10, we were configuring the HSRP and we made distribution switch 1 primary for VLAN 10, 20, and 50, and distribution switch 2 primary for VLAN 30 and 40. Now we are doing the same for spanning tree protocol as well. Configuration wise, it is pretty simple. We can verify the spanning tree first. We say show span. Now it is going to show us the current configuration for a spanning tree. The first thing I noticed, this is VLAN 1, which is the native VLAN. This is the root bridge, and pretty much this is the interface. They all are point to point and they all are in forwarding mode. If we see, distribution switch 1 is not the root bridge for VLAN 10, but what if we type the same command in distribution switch 2? If you notice, for VLAN 10 it is not mentioning about the root bridge, but initially we are going to make distribution switch 1 as the root bridge for VLAN 10, 20, and 50. But prior to the configuration, I am just verifying what is the current state. Anyway, with no further ado, let's configure that. Configuration wise, it's pretty simple. We have to say spanning tree VLAN 10, and then now in order to make it root bridge, we have to put 0 as the priority value. We are going to follow the same for VLAN 20. You notice we have to choose a number between 0 to 61,440, but in order to make it primary, again we have to put 0. And then for VLAN 30 and 40, we can put 4096 to make it, secondary. That is called optimizing the spanning tree. We are also doing the load balancing in the spanning tree so that traffic will be forwarding to distribution switch 1 primarily for 10, 20, and 50. And then if there is any failover, if any link is broken or something like that, it will be forwarded to the distribution switch 2. Likewise, for VLAN 30 and 40, traffic will be forwarded to the distribution switch 2 for a spanning tree. If there is any failover or anything unexpected going on the distribution switch 2, in those interface, traffic will be immediately forwarded to the distribution switch 1. It is also load balancing as HSRP. Now we are moving to the distribution switch 2. If you notice, distribution switch 2 already started to receive syntax. It is going through the listening state, but anyway, we are going to optimize the spanning tree. We can say altogether spanning tree VLAN 30, 40, priority 0, and VLAN 10, 20, 50 will be 4096. Now we can verify that. This is distribution switch 2 and this is VLAN 20. It is not saying if it is primary or secondary. Let's move to distribution switch 1. If you notice now, VLAN 10, it is the root bridge. They all are point to point. They all are in forwarding state as before, but what we wanted to do to make 10, 20, if you notice, 20 is the root bridge 2, and then we are looking for VLAN 50 as well. Now 30 is not going to be the root bridge here, however 50 is the root bridge. Now we should see 30 and 40 should be the primary here, the root bridge here. Okay, now for 40, if you notice in distribution switch 2, this is the root. For 30 as well, we are expecting it, like, yeah, this is perfect. So we have optimized our spanning tree for this lab.